think that this type of news are, to put it in a sloppy phrase, are sexy. You can, it's nice if you sit together with a beer and talk about it. Oh, I had to do this. Oh. And then our other thing, yes, and I had to do it, and I had to do it. Yeah. So this is precisely the danger with this perception index, and this is one of the most severe criticisms they also get. Yeah. And what is not correct, what they are doing, they're making policy with this. They're looking, you can go on the web page, you can see it for 10 years. I have done it here for your country. Yeah? And they're looking now and causing headlines, oh, you had a tremendous increase in corruption. Yeah? Might be not, might be exactly your factor. This might be just talking. Yeah? And if you talk enough and then you get a representative sample was taken, then they just report it. So that is one explanation, because I know not well, but I know a bit South America during my time when I was in the rectorate or presidency of my university. I built up all the relations in Peru, in Colombia, in Ecuador. We had the stronghold of these three countries. And they are really, I'm not saying I'm by no means an expert in your country, but there is a completely different corruption. There's a petty, small corruption area and on the big one. Completely different. Yeah. So, and I got really suspicious. When I found, here, when I found here your country in this company with others, also China, also China, yeah, Trinidad and Tobago, Panama. So here. That's, for me, this is not plausible. But I honestly can only say this is my first attempt, and I thought no more about this, and maybe I will make some analysis of this in another scientific paper, corruption perception index, with more analysis. How good, what does it help with the size of the Schneider? But no, I think this is one very, very plausible explanation. So, more questions? Yes?
I wanted to say that 2 to 3 weeks ago on national TV, it was publicly shown that some of the doctors in the hospital have, or they were supposed to earn around 200,000 to 300,000 euros a year, and they have earned millions, 3 to 4 to 5 millions. Therefore, if the corruption is publicly shown on TV, and therefore it shows that the corruption is not punished by the government, but it's widely accepted in the hospitals, and therefore you can become a millionaire once you are a doctor. What kind of impression this leaves on the people and their opinion about country's corruption?
This precisely I mean with good governance. And here I think it should run in your country the other way around. Good governance must come from top down. Yeah? And one should look at such cases, yeah, and tax them and take them to court, yeah, if it is in such a range. Yeah. This is difficult, yeah, and this is one part of the system that one helps each other. But also with respect to tax morale, if this is discussed publicly and nothing happens, then it's even worse. Yeah? Then don't discuss it. Yeah? But if you show it, yeah, look, they do this, and then you say, oh, typical, yeah? They show it, that's it. Then it creates an incentive, a strong incentive also to not to be honest. Yeah? So if you and if the government takes this serious, and here I think to increase the competitiveness of Greek economy and all this. Here one could do a lot of things, because then firms say, oh, if this is too risky for me, so such a corrupt country, why should I make an investment increase? Yeah, this is one negative aspect of corruption, so that's a clear factor. So here I think really has the media, the newspapers have an urgently important task to put the finger on this and ask every half year, why is nothing happening? Yeah? And you as voters can, to some extent, have an influence on this. If, and so taxi driver always told me, asked him this too, do you have an alternative in voting? Now he told me what I heard several times before. We are governed by two families. I don't have an alternative. It doesn't matter which I switch from the one to the other. Nothing changes. So, yeah, and maybe a third party could develop. No, you are right. If the media should bring it up and bring it up and up and up, that something happens. That is then the only chance.
Professor, comment. I probably know the answer, but the benefit of those people that were not here last year at your presentation, in the last year we have experienced a massive increase in indirect taxes. So increase as a means of combating shadow economy and corruption. Your policy recommendation?
Yeah, one would expect in normal times, after such a massive increase in indirect taxation, a higher increase in the shadow economy. But you had now, due to the severe economic crisis in your country, countervailing effects. The income drop of a lot of people was so severe that the people even couldn't afford to hire the money in the shadow economy or use shadow economy service. And this effect was so strong that the increase in the shadow economy is modest. Yeah? So if I would make a simulation or and would say, what would happen if you would have a normal growth rate, say 2-3%, and not these severe drops in income and recession, and then you would have increased indirect taxation. Then you would have a jump of the shadow economy by 2.5-3 percentage points. Yeah? This here is quite modest for your country. This is less than 1 percentage point. But this is an exception for me also the first time, because of severe economic crisis. Yeah? People simply don't have the money, and if I was told again what gasoline now costing, and so this all has a severe dampening effect. Yeah? And that, I think, was my remark, was triangulating also the official economy. Yeah? You are on the upper limit. I would even thinking reducing some taxes, like the one on gasoline and other things. Yeah? Because it also an extreme unfair measure also is the increase of this indirect taxation. It hits in first line the poor and the middle income class. Those, in principle, who pay the taxes and bring up the massive amount of revenue income in. Yeah? So if you strangulate them, this foreign economists, but not all economists are thinking, so I'm quite often alone, is that doesn't make sense. Yeah? And this effect, but also hit back on the shadow economy. So that is why you had only such a modest increase now in your shadow economy. Normally, as I said, with all these measures on the tax side and not taking into account on the regulation and other things, you would have had a much higher increase. But here, for the first time, the effect that the purchasing power of the Greek economy is so reduced also had a dampening, a quite strong dampening effect on the shadow economy. Okay, then, thank you very much.